welcome to this episode of Go Glendora. I'm Craig Gill. On each episode, we bring you highlights of city-sponsored events and activities and inform you about city programs and services. On this episode, we visit Glendora Day at the LA County Fair and recap the library's Battle of the Books Teen Trivia Competition, plus Water 101, presented by the city's Water Division. First, Glendora Day at the LA County Fair.
So it's our tradition every year as part of Glendora Day to honor recipients that make Glendora the great place it is to live, work, and play. And this year is no exception. We have two fabulous community heroes.
What a great day at the fair! Next, the library's Battle of the Books competition.
I'd like to add my welcome to this exciting evening. It's certainly one of my favorite events that brings our community together. This evening's books are Hidden Figures by Margaret Lee Shetterly, which tells the story of the African American women working for NACA, now NASA, beginning in World War II. Stormbreaker by Anthony Horowitz follows young Alex Ryder, a 14-year-old coerced into working for the British intelligence. And The Thief Lord by Cornelia Funke tells the story of two brothers having run away from their aunt and their friends living on their own, having found shelter and the protection of the Thief Lord. Okay, let's show the audience what we all mean, what was the most important rule of the evening is to... There we go. And we are ready. Up next, we have the Nerd Squad. Catherine Burrow, Mia Regstad, and Charlie Fallon, all 7th graders from Goddard. Up next, we have the Page Turners. Grace Mullock, an 8th grader from Sandburg Middle School. William Landers, an 8th grader from Sandburg Middle School. And Sylvia Wagner, an 8th grader from Royal Oak Middle School. Coming up next, we have the Procrastinators. Cole Nolte, Nick Tarosi, and Preston Hoot, all 8th graders from Foothill Christian School. At the end of round 12, we have 2 teams left in the game. In order to stay in the game, the Readers of the Lost Ark must get their answer correct or we will go to another round. Readers of the Lost Ark. What was the full name of Alex's housekeeper?
Jack Starbright.
We have our winning teams. Book Adventures 3.0. We have Raul Mohan from Lone Hill Middle School, Dibesh Sayu from Royal Oak Middle School, and Amaya Fadness from Charter Oak High School. Gentlemen, why don't we... first place team, the Readers of the Lost Ark. This team is made up of Luke Enriquez from Goddard Middle School, Emma Enriquez from Goddard Middle School, and Lauren Silva from Goddard Middle School. Before we disperse for the evening, I would like to personally thank the committee and everyone who helped put this evening together. There's no possible way that we could do it without the tireless work of our committee and my co-chair, Tom Hill. I would like to again thank our sponsors, the Glendora Public Library Friends Foundation, Glendora Rotary Club, and Foothill Christian Schools for sponsoring us in this wonderful venue. And before we leave, I would like to thank you for coming, and I'd like you all to help me give all of our contestants one last round of applause for all of them.
Again, congratulations to all the teams that participated. Now, Water 101, presented by the city's Water Division.
Thank you for coming to our Water 101 presentation for the City of Glendora Water Division. Today we want to talk to you about our water yard facility, how we use our water, where we get our water, and why it's so important for us to conserve. So this is our current water yard facility. We are on the corner of Sierra Madre and Lorraine, and this building is sort of new, probably about 5-6 years old. This is our original water yard facility. So the very first well was drilled in 1915 at 450 feet. That image there is the very first well and the individuals who found the water in Glendora. The image to the side is the original water yard building, where that tall building covered the pump that you see in the first image. And then the building underneath it is the remaining building from that original. So that building is over 100 years old. We now currently only use it for storage and as a warehouse. The tall building was removed, and we now call that Sierra Madre Avenue. Where your water comes from, in Glendora, we are well water produced. So everything comes from rain, and the rain we get from everywhere in Glendora. It percolates down, goes to the groundwater table, rivers and streams, things like that. All that percolation we get here in Glendora, we then pull back up through wells and other things to get that water out to you. These are our spreading grounds. That's how we get some of that rainwater from a little bit higher than us. It comes in, we hold it there for as long as we can. It doesn't usually last very long. We have a lot of drainage in our area that helps that percolate down. And this is the one over off Big Dalton. There are two other spreading ground locations that we utilize. One is in Azusa, and the other one is just south of the 210. These are some of our reservoirs. So once we pump that water out of the ground, we then treat it slightly and stick it in the reservoirs for as long as we possibly can. Most of these are used within about a day. This is one of the larger reservoirs up on South Hills. So the reservoirs range from 4 million gallons to 7 million gallons. These are a couple of our water pumps at the water yard. So the pumps are actually how we get the water out of the ground and out into the reservoirs. And so we have, our wells tend to be between 500 and 800 feet deep, and we have 44 active pumps in the city. So the original well number 1, even though it's down there in that basement, it was only at 450 feet, so it no longer pumps, no longer works, it's closed off. We have over 13,000 water services in the city, 224 miles of pipeline, and 1,500 fire hydrants. We maintain all of those. Most of our water mains in Glendora are over 50 years old. We are working on replacing them as fast as we can. And just for your reference, on your water bill, a unit of water is 748 gallons. Per the health department, we do treat our water with chlorine before it's introduced into the system. We are lucky that we are at the base of the foothills, and all our water is percolated and filtered by the earth. When it comes back up, it's extremely clean. We only have to add a little bit of chlorine just to treat any bugs or things that might be possibly in the lines, and then that gets passed out to you. Our distribution system is sampled every week. There's 61 sample stations around town, and each sample station is sampled weekly and sent out. We send a report every month to the state to show what is in our water, which is basically just a little bit of chlorine residual and then water. So normally about 70 to 80% of our water comes from the 8 wells, and they're stored in 29 reservoirs. The remaining 20 to 30% is purchased from Metropolitan Water District, and that comes from the Colorado River, the State Water Project. But for the last 3 years, we have not used any of that Metropolitan District water. Everything has been coming out of the ground. Here in Glendora, we are 100% well water for the past 3 years due to conservation and also due to the way that we've been able to manage our water. So the biggest point for us in Glendora is that our water is out of the ground and comes from rain. So no matter how much rain they get up north, no matter what they get with the State Water Project, none of that helps us. So for us, your water comes from the ground and is reliant on what we get. And unfortunately, our rain levels have not been as high as we want them to be. So we have still remained in a drought state, and we're just lucky to not have to purchase expensive water from Metropolitan Water District. So there's still reason to conserve. There's still reason to keep fighting for our water use and keeping everything as low as possible. And we hope that you found this information useful and beneficial to understand where your water comes from. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. We hope you found the show both entertaining and informative. We'll see you next time on Go Glendora.